Guy Verhofstadt has demanded that Britain follows its commitments to avoid a huge mess before trying to negotiate a Brexit trade deal. The senior Belgian MEP hit out at Britain for the proposal of the Internal Market Bill and claimed it would be a huge mess. Mr. Verhofstadt called on the EU's 27 member states to vote down any agreement with Britain if Downing Street refuses to amend its internal market bill that allows ministers to rip up last year's divorce deal. He said, if there is an agreement, and 27 will have ratified it, and if they don't follow their commitments it will be a huge mess. After what happened with the internal market bill, it's in the interest of the European Union to foresee such a disposition in that final agreement. He went on to brand members of the anti-Brussels Identity and Democracy group of being ridiculous. He said, it would appear that my colleague from the ID is no longer here because frankly that position was completely ridiculous. Stop punishing the Brits, better recognize the sovereignty of the Brits. But when it comes to fisheries that's no longer the case. His comments come as Michel Barnier has insisted that both sides in the post-Brexit trade negotiations must be willing to compromise as efforts continue to restart the stalled process. The European Union's chief negotiator insisted an agreement was within reach despite being rebuffed in efforts to continue formal discussions this week. Mr. Barnier and his counterpart Lord Frost, Boris Johnson's Europe advisor, have remained in touch but the negotiations have been in limbo since last week's European Council summit failed to produce a breakthrough. The UK government has insisted that there must be a fundamental change of approach from Brussels, with Mr. Barnier demonstrating that the EU will compromise in key areas. Downing Street said Mr. Barnier's comments were significant and Lord Frost would speak to him later on Wednesday. The main stumbling blocks remain fishing rights, the governance of any deal and the level playing field aimed at preventing unfair competition, which includes state subsidies. Time is short to reach an agreement before the end of the transition period on December 31. Mr. Barnier told the European Parliament, "Our door remains open. It will remain open right up until the last day when we can work together."